Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I hope that all of you had a good IIT and GATE exam. And now, beta, we have to go ahead and focus completely on our CUET exam, right? Now, what should be our strategy for the upcoming days and how we should be focusing on the CUET entrance exam? The first thing that all of you have to go ahead and do is that you have to do all CUET past year papers, right? This is the first priority. सबसे पहले आज से हमें इस चीज पे फोकस करना है कि हम जो भी हमारे CUET के पेपर्स हैं उनको एटलीस्ट ट्वाइस we will go ahead and we will revise them. Okay. Which years? At least from 2018 to 2024 जितने पेपर्स हुए हैं. One time there were also two papers, right? Whatever papers have been there from 2018 to 2024, we have to go ahead and we have to revise all these papers thoroughly. Now when you will be revising these papers, जब आप इन papers को revise करोगे, what will happen is that you will understand which are the most asked or common topics. ठीक है, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई टॉक अबाउट इंडिफरेंस कर्व, सो इन इंडिफरेंस कर्व डू दे जस्ट आस्क बेसिक प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ आईसीज कि व्हाट इज एमआरएस ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड, एमआरएस ऑफ कॉम्प्लीमेंट गुड्स, और डू दे आस्क डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस टू गो अहेड एंड वेदर दे गिव अ कॉम्प्लेक्स क्वेश्चन लाइक मैक्स प्लस मिन. तो किस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं दैट विल आल्सो बिकम वेरी क्लियर व्हेन यू विल गो अहेड एंड व्हेन यू विल बी डूइंग दीज CUET past year papers. So this is our first task, that we want to go ahead and we want to do these CUET past year papers thoroughly. Okay. After we have done this, the second thing that we will be going ahead and we will be doing is that you have to go ahead and you have to do CUET mock papers. The 10 mock papers that I have given you. And you have to listen to the recorded solution also. सिर्फ सॉल्व नहीं करना है, बिकॉज व्हेन आई रिकॉर्ड अ सॉल्यूशन, उस सॉल्यूशन में आई विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट 10 मोर थिंग्स. ठीक है, सॉल्यूशन सिर्फ एक लाइन का क्रिस्प सॉल्यूशन नहीं होगा. Solution will be a big solution, right? It will be discussing things in more detail. So you have to go ahead and you have to listen to that also. उसको भी आपको अच्छे से करना होगा, right? So that's the second thing that you have to go ahead and you have to focus on. CUET mock paper, okay? Solutions. You have to listen to all of those solutions. The third thing that you have to go ahead and you have to do is you have to do the recorded question bank of CUET. You have to keep listening to those solutions. जो भी वहां पे questions हैं उनके solutions को सुनना है. And if you find that there is something from which you can go ahead and you can prepare a short note. So you have to also go ahead and you have to also prepare a short note based on that. आपको उसका short note भी prepare करना है, right? That's the third thing that you will be going ahead and you will be focusing on. Fourth, you have to also go ahead and you have to also do the JNU papers, JNU past year papers. These are also on the level of CUET. CUET से कुछ JNU के past year papers थोड़े ऊपर हो सकते हैं. They can be above the level of CUET. तो उसको आप you can go ahead and you can leave that. If you think कि नहीं मैम ये थोड़ा difficult है, but mostly 99% of the time JNU का जो level होगा, it will be at the level of CUET only. So you have to do the JNU past year papers also. In JNU past year papers, you will find two kind of papers: SSS, SIS. First focus has to be on SSS. ये वाले पेपर ज्यादा CUET लेवल के एग्जाम के पेपर हैं. So you have to first do the JNU SSS paper, and उसके बाद if you have time, क्योंकि SIS has more of international economics, more of maths, and उस तरीके का एग्जाम में नहीं आता है इतना. It is not asked so much in exam. So you will be focusing on SIS only when time permits, but पहले आप SSS करोगे, then you will be doing SIS. Now, if you look at this, इसके भी solutions I have already provided you on the portal. Right? So you can go ahead and map your solutions easily to these questions. Fifth, many of you ask me if DSC papers need to be done. The answer is big no. No DSC paper has to be done. The level of DSC paper does not match the level of CUET. जो भी DSC के पेपर होते थे, they are only relevant if you were giving IIT, if you were giving GATE, or if you will be giving ISI. But they are not at all important from the point of view of your current एग्जाम फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ CUET. तो DSC के पेपर्स को हमें छूना भी नहीं है. इट इज गोइंग टू बी सिंपली अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम. वी डोंट हैव टू डू दिस. नेक्स्ट, you have to go ahead and look at all the topics. ठीक है. So when we is the CUET economics date out? No, beta, the CUET economics date is not yet out. We don't know the exact date, but we know that it is going to be in the window of 10 to 20th March. है ना? So accordingly, we have not even a month completely, yeah, maximum 1 month for preparation. So you have to strategize accordingly. Sixth, then you will go back to the syllabus. Syllabus पे आप वापस तब जाओगे when you have done this. You have to first do this बेटा. Past year papers को पहले करना है. Just to understand कि क्या level आता है. Then when you go back to the syllabus for revision, it will be easier for you to revise. So then you will go back to the syllabus and you will revise based on the weightage. Now, when I talk about the weightage, अगर हम weightage की बात करें, so you will realize that we have, if I look at the last 5-6 year exams, especially अगर आप तब से देखो when DSC and JNU have been part of CUET, you will see that there has been more or less equal weightage, which has been given to all papers. Micro, macro, mathstat, econometrics and Indian eco, they have been given equal weightage. ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी को ज्यादा और किसी को कम weightage दी गई है. So approximately you will notice that we can have 1/5 weightage given to micro, 1/5 of the total paper weightage given to macro. मैक्रो में अगर आप सिलेबस के हिसाब से जाओगे, इट इंक्लूड्स द कंजम्पशन थ्योरीज ऑल्सो, इट इंक्लूड्स द इन्वेस्टमेंट थ्योरीज ऑल्सो, इट इंक्लूड्स इंटरनेशनल का BOP पार्ट ऑल्सो. ऑल दिस इंक्लूडेड टुगेदर इज 1/5. 1/5 वेटेज हैज बीन गिवन टू मैथ्स, जिसमें वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस ऑफ सेट थ्योरी have been asked. Very basic question of limit, very basic questions of differentiation, integration have been asked. Then 1/5 weightage have been given to stats plus econometrics, जिसमें you will be asked questions based on probability, distribution functions, अलग अलग distribution functions से related आपको questions पूछ सकते हैं, in which you will be asked questions on econometrics regression and correlation. तो ये questions भी you have to go ahead and you have to do. Distribution functions में you have to focus on the theoretical aspect. जैसे you will understand this when you do the past year papers. For example, if I ask you that, there is a Poisson distribution given, ठीक है, then if my sample size increases, will it go towards normal distribution or not? Is it a limiting function of normal distribution or not? So theoretical questions on different distributions. Is binomial a limiting function of Poisson distribution of normal distribution or not? ये जो theoretical questions है, इस पे ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस पास्ट ईयर पेपर्स में देखे गए हैं. वी हैव सीन मोर ऑफ दोस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है. या फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई गिव यू, वी हैव डन क्वेश्चंस इन द क्वेश्चन बैंक. हमने वो क्वेश्चंस किए हैं. इफ आई आस्क यू अबाउट सैम्पलिंग, राइट, कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्ट्रैटिफाइड रैंडम सैम्पलिंग एंड सपोज जस्ट रैंडम सैम्पलिंग, राइट, like this, different kind of samplings, उसमें क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. Then they will ask you questions on index number. I'll take one class on index number so that we can revise this topic together. It is important from the point of view of exam. Index number usually exam में आएगा. So we should be clear with what is Laspere, what is Pache, what is Fisher's index and their property. तो इस पे हम एक class अभी करेंगे. We'll revise this topic together. Right. So this is stats plus economics. Right? No advanced topics required, beta. Is multicollinearity is not out of it. Simple regression, when we talk about simple regression, you have to talk about the CLRM assumptions. And the moment you talk about CLRM assumptions, you have to remember ki what is autocorrelation, what is multicollinearity, what is heteroscedasticity. Uska assumptions exam mein aa sakta hai, right? So you have to be aware about that, right? So therefore it is an extension. उसने लिखा नहीं है एग्जाम में, but they can ask you about autocorrelation, multicollinearity और heteroscedasticity. Basic questions, बहुत advanced question नहीं पूछेंगे, but basic questions can be asked in exam. Nobody is going to ask you to run a generalized model. ऐसा कोई नहीं बोलेगा कि जनरलाइज्ड लीस्ट स्क्वायर मॉडल को रन करो. नो, दैट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. बट आई कैन गो अहेड एंड आई कैन आस्क यू ना कि ठीक है, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग टेस्ट इज यूज्ड टू फाइंड the problem of heteroscedasticity. White's test, another test, another test, another test. Basic theoretical questions will be asked. So nobody is asking you practical aspect, but theory you have to be very sure. You have to be very sure what these assumptions are. क्या ये assumption बोलती है that covariance between xi and ui should be 0? Or does it say covariance between yi and xi is 0? What is the assumption saying? वो assumptions में clarity होना is very, very important. So you have to go ahead and do those assumptions well, right? That is important. You have to do the regression well. ठीक है? So for example, if I go ahead and if I tell you that there is a model which is yi hat is equal to 40 plus 0.8 xi. ये मैंने आपको एक model दे दिया है, right? And I go ahead and I tell you कि बेटा find the error if your xi yi value जो coordinate है that is 100 comma suppose 80. Error निकालो. So what will you do? You will put this xi here. xi ये 100 को हम यहाँ डालेंगे and you will get yi hat. So yi hat will be 40 plus 0.800 माने 40 plus 80 माने 120. This is your yi hat. Your actual yi, that is 80. So what will be your error term? The difference between actual and predicted yi. 80 minus 120 minus 40. तो इस तरीके का क्वेश्चन कि yi hat predicted value होता है, ये actual yi होता है. There are multiple such questions we have done in the question bank. ये actual yi है. The difference between actual and predicted is the error term. This basic numerical can be asked in exam, right? Or if I go ahead and if I give you कि ठीक है, yi is equal to xi square, then the correlation between yi and xi will be. So हमें पता है that correlation can only be for linear relationships. And this is a non-linear relationship. So if it is a non-linear relationship, इसमें हम correlation नहीं निकाल सकते हैं. We cannot go ahead and we cannot find correlation here, right? So therefore, ये जो basic properties हैं, you have to be aware about those, right? Dummy variable are important in ecotrix. Again, it does not say dummy as is, but a basic dummy model can be asked. Nobody can stop them from asking that. So if I just tell you कि yi is equal to 100 plus 0.8 di, where di is 1 if male, 0 if female, and I ask you find the wage gap between male and female. ठीक है, where yi is representing the wage. तो इतना तो दे कैन आस्क ना. सो यू हैव टू नो कि वन इफ मेल, माने DI की जगह वन प्लग करेंगे तो मेल का वेज आएगा 100 प्लस 0.8, 100.8. और DI की जगह 0 प्लग करेंगे तो फीमेल का वेज आएगा, सो इट विल बी 100. So gap in the wage will be 0.8. So this kind of question can be asked. इसमें nobody can stop them from asking this, right? So this is very well part of the syllabus कि basic econometrics को हमें aware होना है. But हाँ, if I ask you to go ahead and if I ask you to remove seasonality using dummy variable, नहीं, that is not going to come. But basic questions can definitely be asked in exam. Bertrand is out of syllabus. No, beta. Why is it out of syllabus? You have to be aware about the Bertrand model. Definitely, it is part of syllabus. The moment they say game theory, everything becomes part of the syllabus. So Bertrand, again, as I said, you have to go ahead and you have to be aware of basic things. Nobody is asking you to do a very complicated, differentiated, good model. Bertrand में नहीं आएगा वो एग्जाम में. But Bertrand paradox क्या है कि each firm ends up charging a price equal to marginal cost. They act like perfect competition. ये basic theory questions can be asked in exam, right? So you have to go ahead and you have to. CUET paper is not tough, but CUET syllabus is vast. जो भी लिखा है syllabus में, it has to, आपको हर aspect को touch करना है. Each aspect has to be read, not from practical point of view, from theoretical point of view, but आपको उसको पढ़ना है. You have to study that, right? You don't have to skip anything. That is the entire thought behind reading the syllabus. That is why I want you to first do the paper. When you will be doing the paper, you will understand कि ठीक है इस तरीके का पेपर आता है. You will also understand that every kind of topic comes in exam. ऐसा नहीं है कि topic कोई miss हो रहा है. They are asking probability distribution function also. They can ask you Cournot model also. They can ask you Stackelberg also. But the level of the question will be simple. तो उसके हिसाब से then we will go back to the syllabus and we will revise the different topics. Right? And then 1/5, let me just finish this last part, beta. So you will notice that the remaining 1/5, that is Indian economy. And when I say Indian economy, it is not only Indian economy. अगर आप actual में जाके syllabus देखो, if you look at the syllabus of CUET, you will realize that Indian economy is not really Indian economy. उसी के अंदर you have questions related to banking sector. उसी के अंदर you have questions which are related to international economics. उसी के अंदर you have questions which are related to externalities and public goods. So Indian eco is not Indian eco. Indian eco में भी there will be a lot of questions which can be predicted in advance. हमें पता है कि ये topics we can easily do this. We have already revised international economics में. We have seen what is what is GATT, what is WTO. हमने बहुत कुछ already revise करा है in the recent days. We have revised international में, we have gone ahead and we have revised the new trade theory, right? तो international is one component जो इसी के अंदर आएगा. Externalities, public good is one component. Taxes is one component. Incidence of tax भी आएगा. So don't just focus on Indian eco as Indian eco. ऐसे मत सोचना कि ये 1/5 is completely the typical Indian eco. No. You have to first focus on these topics. Right? Then you have to do the videos given on the portal. And you have to also do the book. कौन सा book? Class 11th का NCERT for Indian eco. You have to do budget and survey. Just recent. 2024, not this year. That has very less chance of coming. 2024 ka you have to go ahead and do that. As this time is reduced to 90 minutes, what can we expect about the pattern of the paper? Same pattern. It does not change the pattern, right? It remains the same. The questions can be a bit easier on the easier end, but we expect the weightage also to be very, very similar. Do we have to study regression, like how to detect various tests? Not in detail, just the name. You should know the name of the different tests. Utna kafi hai. You don't have to see what those tests do. International economics from portal is more than enough. Yes. I am just recording one or two more videos which can be asked in exam. Today only I have done that recording. I will post that, which is on the history of international negotiation. जिसमें मैंने वो सारे rounds को एक बारी दोबारा revise करवा दिया है कि what is Uruguay round, what is Doha round. Just do that also. Huh? I will inform you once it's on the portal. Do we have to study? This is done. Current, no. There will be no question on current affairs, don't worry. That's not part of the course. Yes, CUET papers with solutions are available on the portal, except 2024 paper, which I will be discussing with you. Different committees, you have to remember them. There is already a video which is posted on the portal on different committees. You can go ahead and go through that video also. Questions like to write the following policy in order. So what I would have done as a student is to go ahead and to make different chart. That is where you need to prepare notes. I always want you to write as much as possible. So it is a good idea that you go ahead and you prepare note for these committees or these policies. क्योंकि इनका order पूछ सकते हैं, which year which was introduced, right? So let's say that supposedly we want to go ahead and we want to talk about financial committees, right? So you should be aware of one, when different financial committees were launched, and secondly, you have to be also aware of what their task was. Itna exam mein definitely aata hai if you look at the past year papers of CUET, right? So for example, if we go ahead and you would have seen that usually they go ahead and they ask you a lot about the Rangarajan committee, okay? Or they go ahead and they ask you about the different tax committees. Okay, so there are certain important sectors jinka committees you can go ahead and you can remember. I can let me list those down. The first sector is the RBI related sector. RBI related committee, जिसमें हमें पता है that there is monetary policy committee, right? Then there is board for financial supervision. Then there is internal debt management committee. So ये एक important sector है which you need to remember. The second thing which definitely can be asked in exam, that is your different tax committees. So you can make notes in which you will go ahead and you will write down कि ठीक है, let me today sit and revise all the tax committees of India. ठीक है, जिसमें केलकर कमिटी, तेंदुलकर कमिटी, I have given that on the portal. I have made video lecture of it. But एक अपने लिए you have to prepare those self notes. Like for example, if I am preparing today a note on tax committee, then I will be talking about, say suppose I want to prepare notes on within this direct tax committee. Okay. So within this, what I will do, I will write down that, okay, one thing that we know is the Raja Chelia committee. Okay. In which year it was launched? It was launched in the year 1991. ठीक है, इसमें क्या किया? The aim was to lower the direct tax. Direct tax को हमें lower करना था and introduce minimum alternate tax. बस इतना काफी है. Then secondly, what is the next thing? What is the next committee I want to remember? There can be Akhilesh Rajan committee. ठीक है, that was launched in the year 2019. And you can also make them in ascending order ताकि आपको और ज्यादा याद रहे, right? Similarly, you can make for indirect tax committees. I'm just giving you an example. Indirect tax committees mein we know that there was Vijay Kelkar committee, most important. Vijay Kelkar committee, when was it launched? It was launched in 2002. क्या किया था इसने? इन्होंने goods and service tax को propose किया था. They proposed goods and service tax, right? Or what else committee we had? We had LK Jha committee. This is again very important for the VAT, value added tax. Okay. So like this, you have to go ahead and you have to prepare note on the different form of committees. Okay. Similarly, this is just one case. Tax committees का आपने बनाया. Then you can prepare short notes on what are the different kind of custom and export committees. I would want you to revise all this towards the end ताकि it is fresh in your mind. ठीक है. इसमें there is again a very important one which is the Kelkar committee. When was this Kelkar committee introduced? In 2002. क्या काम था? To simplify the customs and excise duty to go towards a unified tax system, right? Or then there was something which is known as Tax Administration Reform Committee, right? So like this, you have to go ahead topic wise. कि ठीक है, let me go ahead and start with RBI related committees, then tax committees, then custom and export committees. All committees together, I have made a video. But if that is difficult for you to remember, you can go one by one. आप एक topic पे focus करो, you revise all committees based on that. Then you go to the next topic, you revise all committees based on that. If you want, I can go ahead and I can help you prepare these notes. Just keep, please write it on the portal, this Telegram group once. I can just go ahead and help you to segregate. मैं अलग अलग committees पे एक एक sheet बना के I can just send you across. You can revise it through that also. Do we have to go through all government schemes? It is impossible to go through all government schemes, of course. You have to go through important government schemes, especially the government schemes which are in the recent budget. Like if I ask you, what is drone Didi? You have to be aware about this. Ekdam basic question hai, right? This is from the latest budget, right? Or if I go ahead and if I ask you something which is related to suppose something in the agricultural sector, like what is the Kisan credit card? Huh? What are e-mandis, right? Basic policies you have to be, basic schemes you have to be aware about. All schemes, no one can be aware about them. But जो relevant है recent era में, वो हमें जानना जरूरी है, right? Okay. Currently, the entire focus for 1 month is only on CUET. No other exam is important for now because CUET is going to give you. I have seen students focusing on ISI and losing both ISI and DSC. We don't want to do that. Abhi, देखो, paper is easy. When paper is easy, the cutoffs are high, right? So we want to go ahead and we want to focus on getting as high score as possible. ठीक है? So therefore it is very very important कि अभी सारा का सारा एक महीने के लिए focus CUET पे हो. CUET का पैटर्न बाकी एग्जाम से बहुत अलग है. It is very very different. You cannot focus on two very different pattern exam together. So your only focus is on CUET for the next 1 month. Completely CUET. It is theoretical in nature. You have to put all this in your mind, right? So it is very important to do this. Public eco mein beta, I have already taken a marathon where we completed externalities, public goods, asymmetric information. So once you have gone through the public eco lectures, then you can revise it through that marathon. It will be useful. No, the first thing is to do the paper first. Topic up, you don't have to spend a lot of days on doing these papers. 2018 to 2024, all these papers can be done maximum in 3 days. Starting today. Not more than that. इतना मुश्किल नहीं है इन papers को करना. You look at a question, you see the solution, solution is on the portal, you go on to the next question. Why I am asking you to do the paper first is to understand कि किस तरीके का question exam में आएगा, so that when you go here and when you revise, you know exactly what to revise. You cannot do random revisions at this point. So doing the paper first is important, but it doesn't mean that you dedicate 10 days to doing these small paper. It has to be done within 2 to 3 days. 2 से 3 दिन बहुत है इन पेपर को करने के लिए. Assume that one paper takes 2 hours. So how many papers are there? 6, 7 papers. It should not take more than 2 days for you to complete this CUT paper, right? So go ahead and do this first and then do the remaining part. YouTube series is good. If you want to, if you have time, I would suggest you to do that. Especially the last 2 year series are also having a lot of good questions, okay, which are not there on the portal. So you can go through these series, right? You can do the daily paper. It is only going to take 10 minutes of your time, the daily papers that I'm uploading. But this way you will be sure कि अच्छा ठीक है, इस topic में I could answer all these 5-10 questions, which means good. My revision is going in the right direction, right? So it is no harm to do this series and to revise this series. Last year and last to last year, students, whoever have cleared CUT DSE, they have done these tests daily on daily basis with me. So it is not a bad idea to do them. Do a session on exchange rate numerical. Okay. Can you make a note of all these things? I will give you some on ascending, descending order of different committees, topic wise, and some on numericals of exchange rate. And we have to discuss 2024 CUET paper. Okay. Again, finance commissions are, so when we talk about finance commissions, at least, not all finance commissions need to be done, but at least go ahead and at least do 14th and 15th. That is important. Do a comparison also. That video is available on the portal. Finance commission 14th versus 15th. एक बारी कर लो. Understand कि किसको break कैसे किया गया है, किस चीज में कितना weightage दिया गया है. Just do that, right? So that is also important. So not more than that. Only these two are enough. Okay. Finance commission, whenever you do not remember the chairperson also. You should know that NK Singh was the chairperson. When did he submit the report? उन्होंने tax devolution कितना रखा था? 41% पे, right? All those things are important. You have to remember those. What are the special grants given to different states? ठीक है? That is there on the portal. You have to do those. 14th versus 15th. Finance Commission. Similarly, one important thing that you have to do is the FRBM Act. This is very important from exam point of view. Very, very important. You have to do this also. Okay. Yes, don't worry, it will be uploaded on the portal. This session, development economics has to be done. Huh? So when you go to development economics, so one thing that all of you ask me is, ma'am, do we have to do big push theory? Do we have to do this, that? Nahin. Dekho, you only have to do solo model, Harrod-Dummer, and maximum AK model. ठीक है, ये 3 मॉडल में से they can ask you numerical also. माने यहाँ पर I can ask you find capital output at steady state. ठीक है, तो वो चीजें जो भी हैं, you have to go ahead and know the formulas of steady state and everything. ठीक है, here also I can ask you find capital output ratio. You have to know that. But apart from this models, three important models, in other models, you should be knowing the name because sometimes they do give you match the following. Okay. So suppose if I give you match the following में creative destruction, right? And then I give you diminishing MP or diminishing MRTS assumption. ठीक है, then I give you constant returns to scale. ऐसे करके मैं कुछ कुछ मॉडल का I write something here and I write something here. I say Schumpeter, right? So, or suppose here I say stages of growth and I say Rostow. So you should know ना कि किसने क्या दिया. This much they can ask you in exam, that who gave what. That is why I have given those models to you. So you should know that Schumpeter, he talked about creative destruction. You should know कि stages of growth, अलग-अलग stages of growth, they were given by Rostow. क्योंकि मॉडल का नाम ही Rostow stages of growth है, right? So who gave what? इतना basic thing should be known, not in detail. Detail में only these three models can be asked. Formula can be asked only for Solo and Harrod Domer, not even AK. AK model भी नहीं आएगा इतना detail में. But if I tell you कि ठीक है, if I give you AK model here, and if somewhere here I have written endogenous growth model, so you should know what to match to what. Utna we need to understand, right? So that is why this is important. Only date of committee or what they introduced, both. Both things are important, like this, the example I've given you, no? So you should know what this gave, and here you should know कि ठीक है, they focused on reducing tax, direct tax, right? Then if I talk about this, so you should know कि ठीक है, they worked upon getting you unified tax. So what they did एक दो line में, because match the following में again, if I go ahead and if I give you the name of committee, and if I give you what task the committee has done, so match ke liye I should know the task also, no? So that is also important. JNU past year papers. To be done for CVT, yes. So as I said, SSS wala we need to focus on first. SIS, even if you skip, I am fine. SSS you definitely have to do, JNU SSS past year papers. SIS if time permits. Then question bank should be done in how many days? Question bank, not more than 10 days. But I am also, we keep evolving. So it is a good idea that you, जो भी question bank अभी तक डाला है, you completely wrap that up. And plus, if I take some marathon sessions which add to the question bank, you do that on the same day. So suppose if tomorrow I take a marathon session in which I go ahead and I discuss any one topic. Suppose if I am discussing this topic, right? Then you have to revise that question bank on the same day. Usko you cannot keep it for the lag, right? And here I remember I have to also discuss one day on index number. That is important from exam point of view. Okay, so for Indian economy, whatever notes I have, I will share. For a lot of them, while I was teaching, I was writing, right? So I may not have a PDF version of it, but whatever PDF version I have, I will go ahead and I will post it on the portal. 2000 budget, yes, it is available on the portal. We have done budget also and survey also. Both of them are there very much on the portal. Not only 2024, but 23 also is available on the portal. Important test under econometrics. It is just, I can, but it's not going to be a video. It's just, I mean, it's just a 5-minute session where I can just write all important tests of econometrics and send that across. If you want me to do that, I can do that. Video or notes. One thing I will give you on all important tests of econometrics. Most of the things will be theoretical. माने आपको सिर्फ ये शॉर्ट नोट्स प्रिपेयर करके रिवाइज करने हैं हर चीज पे रिलेटेड, चाहे कमिटीज हो, चाहे इकोनोमेट्रिक्स के इंपॉर्टेंट टेस्ट हो, चाहे स्टैटिस्टिक्स के प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो, each topic does not require a lot of deep diving, but it requires that you touch base on each topic. कुछ छोड़ना नहीं है. That is what is most important. GST is important, yes, because they have mentioned about taxes. So they can ask you about GST. Okay, from development eco, what are the important topics? So dev eco, uh, as I mentioned, first of all, you have to go ahead and you have to do this different models. Mainly, you have to focus on these two models, but then you have to go ahead and know other models. Similarly, in dev eco, you would have seen that I have posted some videos. The aim is for you to know basic things. Jaise, if you notice, I have covered Gini's coefficient MCQ questions. This is important, very, very important. आपको पता होना चाहिए what is Gini's coefficient. What does it do? Then similarly, you should be very much aware of what are the different measures of poverty and inequality. You should be aware of how to calculate human development index. वो नहीं पूछे शायद calculation, but वो ये तो पूछ सकते हैं ना that in human development index what are the 3 indicators used, right? Or they can go ahead and they can ask you that which is the right formula of human development index. Do we find geometric mean, or do we find arithmetic mean, or harmonic mean of these indicators? So formula को understand करना is important, right? Similarly, they can ask you who was the individual who introduced the concept of human development index and in which year, right? So ये basic चीजें you have to be aware about that, right? So that is why I am telling you that the video lecture has to be gone through. Just that a numerical question may not be asked, right? So if I ask you that when Gini's coefficient is 0, does it represent 100% equality or 100% inequality? It's a theoretical statement. I can give you that statement. And I ask you कि कब maximum inequality होता है या कब maximum equality होता है? These are all theoretical questions from this, right? Then there is something that we have covered in the video lectures, which is on Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen, his capability approach. Again, theoretically, I can ask you कि Amartya Sen के according, what is the capability approach? That you have to focus on means, not end. ये एक line है, but ये line याद रखना जरूरी है, right? So when you talk about dev eco, at least do poverty, at least do inequality, at least do human development index, at least do the sustainable development goals. ये basic चीजें हैं which you have to be aware about. You have to do them once. You have to touch base upon them, right? That is important from exam point of view. Same for global financial crisis. Yes, you have to do those. Again, not in detail, but knowing them is important. If I ask you ki, okay, what was the year of different financial crisis? You remember we had done a marathon on it specially, जिसमें मैंने आपको डिटेल में बताया था कि एशियन फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस कब आया था, then when did the global financial crisis came, what was great depression year. We have done this complete video in 1 hour, I think 1 or 2 hour marathon session. We have covered this in detail. What are the different sessions? And this has been asked in the past year paper. If you look at the past year paper, इनको match the following में आया हुआ है, which came when. So it means that it is important for me to know what are the different financial crises or crises, and to know which year they came. You have done this with me. हमने इस पे MCQ questions भी किए हैं. So you have to do that, yes. Is multivariate functions important? It is not very important, but I can ask you partial derivative. So if I give you a function z is equal to 4x square plus 5y square plus 3xy, and if I ask you evaluate del z by del x at 1,0। ये बेसिक मल्टीवेरिएट क्वेश्चन है, ये तो आ सकता है. So I just have to differentiate this function. I will get 8x plus 3, 1, y. So I will get 8x plus 3y. And I can put x as 1 and y as 0. So I can put x as 1 and y as 0. And I can get the answer. So basic questions can be asked from multivariate. ये शायद double derivative भी हो सकता था. Right? Not very difficult things. But these are some basic things which you have also done in class 11, 12. You are expected to know all of this. Right? तभी तो डीएससी में वहां पे जाके you will be able to manage the difficult part, right? So these are basic things which you are expected to. From which year should we do the JNU paper? At least 5 years. At least last 5 years. 2003 budget, sometimes they go ahead and ask from previous budgets. Like I gave you an example of drone Didi. वो 2023 के budget में एक important part था. So if time permits, please do that. वरना 2024 तो definitely you have to do. Did you discuss important topics for maths? Yes, we did that, na? We wrote them down. Set theory, limit, differentiation, integration. Only these topics are seen in the past year papers. You won't see beyond this anything. Right? Demographic transition, dividend, yes. These are terms. You have to know these terms. These are all mentioned in DevEco. You have to do them, definitely. So try to understand. When you will be going through the past year paper, you will realize that the paper is very inclusive. ऐसा नहीं है कि पेपर बहुत मुश्किल है, बट ये डेफिनेटली है कि पेपर में हर एस्पेक्ट के क्वेश्चन आए हैं. सो यू नो व्हेन आई स्टार्ट डूइंग एनी काइंड ऑफ मैराथन विद यू, अगर मैं कोई भी मैराथन पिकअप करती हूँ, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई एम डूइंग अ मैराथन विद यू ऑन माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स, what I also do as an individual is I go back and I look at all micro questions that have been asked in past year papers. उससे मुझे एक आइडिया मिलता है कि what are the topics that have been asked in past, and then I go ahead and I only revise those topics with you. That is exactly what I'm asking you to do. That when you pick up on any subject, आपने macro economics उठाया, उसमें suppose you are focusing on consumption theories, and उसमें आपने देखा कि okay, I have seen that there has been question on life cycle hypothesis, there has been question on permanent income hypothesis, there has been question on Keynes consumption theory, there has been question on consumption puzzle. तो अब मुझे पता है कि ये टॉपिक्स हैं जो पास्ट ईयर में आए हैं और इसी तरीके के टॉपिक्स आगे आएंगे. सो व्हेन आई सिट फॉर रिविजन आई विल रिवाइज बैक दीज टॉपिक्स ना. That is the aim of me telling you to do past year first. You do the past year first, you understand what topics are important, and you revisit those topics and you revise them thoroughly. And you have to dedicate at least 6 hours a day. ये minimum है. You don't have to focus on your semester exams currently, please. You don't have to focus on your college currently. The next 1 month, whether it is morning, evening, afternoon, should be dedicated only to CUET preparation. Nothing else. और कुछ भी नहीं करना है. You just have to go ahead and you just have to focus on the CUET preparation. Is relation function important? अगर relation function पूरा नहीं भी करना है, I have posted a marathon on relation function, which is 1 hour marathon. It covers the different kind of functions. ठीक है? So for example, if I ask you the basic thing, what is 1-to-1 function? Y is equal to x square. Is this 1-to-1 or not? Is this onto or not? एक basic function के लिए. I have done this in the marathon. You can revise it from the marathon itself. Don't do the complete lecture if you don't want to. Do it in 1 hour, na? Do that 1 hour marathon. It is enough for maths. But don't skip the topic. There is no need to skip anything. Okay. do the basic functions well. मुझे पता होना चाहिए that when I talk about y is equal to log x, इस बेसिक फंक्शन का डोमेन और रेंज क्या है, ये बेसिक क्वेश्चन है. या अगर मैं बोलूं y इज इक्वल टू ई टू द पावर x, ये बेसिक फंक्शन का डोमेन रेंज क्या है, आई हैव टू बी अवेयर अबाउट दैट. आई नीड टू नो हाउ टू मेक लॉग फंक्शन एंड एक्सपोनेंशियल फंक्शन, एंड आई नीड टू नो कि ये दोनों फंक्शंस एक दूसरे का मिरर इमेज होते हैं, right? So if one function is drawn like this, the other function is drawn like this. Itna basic, to understand basics of function is important. These are some basic functions. You have to remember them. Y is equal to log x, y is equal to e to the power x, y is equal to mod x, right? ये तीन functions, ये basic functions हैं which can be asked in exam. इनका properties हमें पता होना चाहिए, right? We should be aware of the fact that if I put x as 1 in the log function, answer will be 0. I have to be aware about the fact that as you go towards 0, as you approach 0, your function will go towards minus infinity. Answer minus infinity की तरफ जाएगा. Basic property, right? So these three functions are some basic functions which I have to be well aware about. To these basic functions, na? This is what is important, right? So don't skip the topic. You have to do that topic. Even if you have not completed the syllabus, my suggestion is the same. You follow this approach. You do the paper first, look at what has come in the past year paper, you focus on that topic then. It's okay if you have not gone through all the videos, but do the reverse engineering now. पहले important topics देखो, पहले past year paper करो, उनके topics को map करो, go back to those topics, revise those topics. Same I tell you for marathon. If I take any marathon, we have done marathon on consumption functions, on investment functions, on international economics. You go back और उसी दिन पे उन topics को revise back. That means you tick a topic कि ठीक है ये तो topic permanent हो गया, it's there in my mind, it's registered in my mind. Everything has to be done by maximum 7th of March. Then you only revise back your notes. I do not suggest you looking through the videos throughout. That is not a good approach. It is a horrible approach कि अगर कल एग्जाम है और आज मैं बैठ के कोई वीडियो लेक्चर देख रही हूँ for the first time. It is not at all recommended. By this, all your handy notes should be ready. By this, everything should be in short. I should have short papers with me. ठीक है, this is my formula sheet for all stats. All formulas written down here. And I'm just revising them. This is my, sheet for Indian Eco. I've written down everything here. And I'm just revising that. The end few days are to go back and to just sink everything in your mind, whatever you have done. It's not to pick anything new, but to do these things again and again. Right? Okay, so the idea is now that in another 2-3 days, each of you will wrap up all the CUT past year papers. You can put your doubts in the group. It is good that each of you clear other doubts. उससे आपके भी दिमाग में कुछ कुछ घुसता है. I see that people are constantly clearing the doubt of other students. It's a good approach. That way you understand that topic well. And then formula sheet of stats. I think I have already shared that. Let me check. Econometrics I have shared. Let me see if I have shared for stats or not. I think I have already done that. Okay. And you start preparing these short notes. There should be a register which should be there for your revision towards the end, not the portal. Portal is not for revision. It is to understand the topic for the first time. Under which section we can find econometrics? It's under econometrics only. There is a complete section of econometrics. What is the target score? So, you need to target 80 to 85% at least for DSC and IGIDR. Hmm? Okay, right? Thank you, Khushi. I appreciate that. ठीक है. Okay, so we'll end now. So tomorrow I will come back. I will ask you whether you have done 2024 paper CUT, and all of you should be saying yes. There should be no for it. Marathons on portal. It is under the additional section, I think, but just put that on one. You can ask on WhatsApp also to sir. It's under additional section most probably. Subscription is getting expired on 2nd March. Don't worry, it will be extended till the date of exam. For CUT students who have taken the CUT course, it will be till date of exam. Abhi ke liye, since in the beginning we are not sure of when the paper is going to be, we just put some random date, but it gets extended. Don't worry. If you're not able to find a particular section, you can just go ahead and ask that on WhatsApp to sir. He'll send you a screenshot from the portal कि वो section कहाँ पे है. Yes, the additional section where marathons are getting posted, that is what we are doing for CUET only. Yes, when you start with CUET paper, you start with 2024 and go in the descending order. Do the most recent first, then go to 2023, 22 and so on. That's right. Even if you're not done with complete syllabus, पहले आप ये करोगे, पेपर करने के बाद you will understand कि कौन से टॉपिक्स हो रहे हैं important, then you will go back and revise those topics. That is why I'm suggesting to do the paper first. ठीक है? Then backward. Yes. No, nothing to worry about. If you're scoring 70 to 80%, it's a good score in mock. Don't worry. Indian Eco PDF. So as I mentioned, yes, a lot of them I have written बहुत पहले. I may not have their PDF available with me, but whichever PDF I have, I will share that with you. But I will try to prepare a summarized note version also. I have written it here. So even if I am not able to provide that PDF, maybe I will give you a summarized version. I have not shared a lot of material which I had shared last time. वो बहुत ज़्यादा confusing हो जाता है. Otherwise, I have many more questions, but I don't want to give you a lot this time. You won't not understand कितना कर सकते हैं, but I will share Indian Eco crisp notes with you. I'll prepare them and share. That's right. So some papers in some questions in mock paper may not be what I have taught you. That is absolutely done intentionally. Why I have done that intentionally is that if there is even 1% chance that it can come in exam, through mock paper it is covered. Just for example, in environmental economics, there is something called as shadow price. अब मुझे पता है कि 99.99% वो एग्जाम में नहीं आएगा बिकॉज एनवायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ योर कोर्स. बट वो 1%, अगर वो 0.1% भी इफ इट कैन कम इन एग्जाम, आई जस्ट वॉन्टेड टू कवर दैट थ्रू मॉक पेपर, that you should know that shadow price is a non-market value price. Okay, that is why I have given those in mock paper. So that's the reason why I have told you to do the mock paper also thoroughly, so that you understand कि ठीक है ये topic में ये चीज आ सकता है, and you just put that in your mind. It is not from the syllabus point of view, but for completeness point of view. Are these conferences like Kyoto's Earth Summit? Again, they have not mentioned environmental economics as part of the course. So chances are very less कि environment eco का conferences should be asked in exam. International they can ask you. And as I said, I've just today morning sat down and recorded Doha, Uruguay in सब committees के बारे में. But I don't think they should be asking Kyoto Summit or Earth because it's not part of the course. So that is fine if you're not able to reach 90% marks. The reason, as I said, is that there will be many things that you would be seeing which are new in the mock. तो उसकी वजह से maybe mock paper में you may not be able to score 90%. But when you do it for the second time, when you look back at the mock paper the second time, it should you should be able to reach 90%, even if not the first time. ठीक है. No marathon today evening. I want to just record some things and pass them to you before I take a marathon. Uh, Tomorrow, yes, most probably I will have one, but I will inform you the time. G20 summit basics you should know. Of course, it's a current topic, but usually they don't ask you on current affairs. Just knowing some basic of it is fine if you want to read that through. मोस्टली इट विल बी बेस्ड ऑन वॉट एवर इज रिटन इन द सिलेबस. जो सिलेबस में लिखा है उसके ऊपर या उसके नीचे कुछ नहीं आएगा. दैट मच ओनली इफ यू डू थॉरली इट इज इनफ. Right? So for example, international में I can go ahead and I can ask you match the following. I can ask you absolute advantage theory, comparative advantage theory, and I can give you some names: Ricardo, Adam Smith, and some names, and I have to ask you to match. एक चीज वो आ सकता है एग्जाम में. ठीक है. The other thing that can be asked is the years, right? So if I give you absolute advantage theory, comparative advantage theory, Hegel-Rollin, and right, and I give you 4 options A, B, C, D. इसमें I give you comparative first, then absolute, then standard trade, and then Hegel-Rollin. So going ahead and arranging these in ascending or descending order, कि सबसे पहले कौन सा आया और लास्ट में कौन सा आया, that kind of questions are very often seen in exam. Right? Okay. ठीक है. PDF, wherever I think it is important, I am sharing. I personally am not a very big fan of sharing PDFs, yeah, notes. I am a fan of students writing it down. मतलब the way that I used to prepare, although तब DSC का exam बहुत difficult होता था, it used to be that we would write everything down. जब हम लिखते हैं, it sinks in your mind. It makes you help you make better notes for yourself. When you have everything, till date, you won't believe. If I just show you, till date, I just go ahead and I write everything down. This is my international economics notes that I am preparing for all of you. And you will notice that everything that I have done is written down by me. I can also go ahead and take a printout from the book and do it. It's not recommended. कभी भी दिमाग में नहीं बैठेगा if you just go ahead and if you just look at the PDF. So wherever important, yes, I will share it कि आपके time बच जाए, but I will still suggest कि PDF भी सामने है, then also you write things down. It is going to be very, very helpful for you if you write it down. उसी से आपको याद रहेगा. Entire econometrics, no. As I said, econometrics mean you just have to do simple regression and correlation, but you should know who gave which theory, पहली चीज, and what is under what. जैसे sorry, if I have to do heteroscedasticity, क्या उसको कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, मल्टीकोलिनियरिटी का प्रॉब्लम है कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, थ्योरेटिकल करना है, बट इंटायर इकोनोमेट्रिक्स ऑन पोर्टल जो भी है वो पूरा डिटेल में नहीं करना है. Series on chronology of theories is already posted on the portal. There is already a video which has covered. If you go to Indian economy, you will see chronology wise theories. It's already there. Okay? You can have a look at it. Okay. Question bank in PDF form, I don't have that. When I recorded it, it was there in the computer. It is not there in the form of PDF. It's just in recorded form. And the idea is for you to listen to it. अगर रिकॉर्डेड फॉर्म, अगर पीडीएफ में ही देना होता, आई वुड हैव जस्ट गिवन यू 10 क्वेश्चंस विद एमसीक्यू बेस एबीसीडी. दैट्स नॉट द पॉइंट. द आइडिया इज व्हेन यू लिसन टू द क्वेश्चन बैंक, वो 1 मिनट के क्वेश्चन में मैं 5 मिनट का एक्सप्लेनेशन देती हूँ with covering 10 things. So if there is a question on substitute goods, then उस क्वेश्चन में in the explanation I cover 10 things कि इसका एमआरएस कांस्टेंट क्यों है, अगर हम पी एक्स बाय पी वाई से कंपेयर करें तो क्या होगा. दैट इज वाई आई वॉन्ट यू टू लिसन टू दैट. So you will have to listen to question bank. That's the only suggested thing there. Otherwise, questions तो we are doing it in the marathons anyways, right? Okay, so we'll end the session then, and I hope by tomorrow all of you will go ahead and do 2024 at least. Basic है, but 24 के साथ 23 और 22 भी कर लो तो good enough. CUET past year papers. A safe score for IIT. My bet is 65, but we are not very sure because all of you have done well in the IIT exam, but I think it should be 65. How many days for question bank? Not more than 10 days. 10 भी बहुत extreme है if you are simultaneously revising topics. Otherwise 5-6 days are more than enough for question bank to be revised. Sit day in and day out, do long nights, give 100% to this paper for next 1 month. एक महीने के लिए और कुछ नहीं है. You just have to sit and study for 6 to 8 hours every day. You are competing with students जिन्होंने बहुत कुछ already पढ़ा होगा. There are students जिनकी यूनिवर्सिटी में ये सब कुछ 100 times रिवाइज हुआ होगा. So you are competing with a big audience. So you have to dedicate 6 to 8 hours every day, and you have to make sure कि एक एक चीज आप लिखो, उसको रिवाइज करो, और वो नोट्स आपके बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर द end 5 days revision. So write things down. Okay, thank you.